This stretch is going to be a great stretch to kind of dig a little bit deeper into fascial stretching, a little bit more than that assessment and just opening up the beginning nets. And this is going to be a routine compiled of some of my favorite moves, just to give you an idea of the different areas and different movements we target and how good you can feel after it. So I'm going to go through it. It is a floor routine. Again, we don't want any pain. You want to go right to the point of feeling the stretch. Once you feel the stretch, you want to breathe into it, deep breathe, expand your whole rib cage like you have a beach ball in your belly, and you're going to try to breathe into it. Breathe into the back, the lower back, and just squeeze every little ounce out of each movement and place that you can to really just open up all the areas, because the key is to get blood flow and movement into all the little spaces that we usually jump over. So we want to be slow and intentional and just really enjoy it. All right, so no pain. If it starts to hurt, just back out of it. Go to a place that feels better. If none of it feels better, then just go ahead and lay on your back and relax, and then wait until you do a different stretch. So no pain. We just want to feel the stretch, and we want to really get into everything. So listen to your body. You can watch me for some of the things. For other things, you don't have to watch. You can just listen to my voice and do what feels right and good for you. Okay, so we're going to start on all four, and we're going to just drop our hip to one side and the other hip. Go to where it feels good to you. Some of these you may be able to move quite a bit, and some of them you may not, and even each side is different. Rock on this side and rock on this side. Okay, now we're going to look up and look over and just really sink into that. Take a couple deep breaths. Okay, we'll come to this side and we'll do the same. We're going to sink into it. We're going to play with where our head is a little bit. All right, and now we're going to come and sit. The goal is to have this back leg at a 90-degree angle. And this front leg, if possible, you want to have the foot against the knee. If it's not possible, you can put it here if that's more comfortable. That's ultimately the goal. So that's something to work towards. Now we're going to sit up tall. And when you do this, we're going to lean forward, but I don't want you to collapse into it. I want you to think of your head as a helium balloon and lift up, and then lean forward with a straight back, not a tense back, but a straight one. And just come to the point where you feel that in your hip, in your glute, maybe your QL. Take a deep breath in, exhale, deep breath in, exhale, and then we're going to just roll forward. Dropping the head, let the head hang, feel that nice stretch in the back, and then roll up. We're going to do that 3 more times. So head up, lean forward with a straight back, but not tense. Go right to that point of stretch. Deep breath in, and then curl your body forward and down, and hold it wherever feels sticky, wherever feels really good. Go slow on the way to the curl, and then use your hands to push your body back up so that you're not straining your back. Okay, come up, lean forward to that point of stretch. And this time we're going to do something a little different. So instead of curl into it, we're going to come into our hands and we're going to lean side to side. And just notice, does one side feel a lot tighter? Like for me, going this way, my glute and lower back really feel the stretch. This side, I feel it in my ribs. And then you just go back and forth with that. You can hang your head down. And then we'll come back to the center and roll up. Okay, for this next part, our feet are going to stay the same. We're going to get a nice hip flexor and side body stretch. So we're going to take this arm and put it on the ground. And just play with where you need the positioning. Maybe you don't have that much flexibility in your hip flexor and you need to come forward. Maybe you can come here. Maybe you can even go a little further back. So wherever feels good for you. I like to go a little further back so I can feel that hip opening. We're gonna feel the hip opening here. We're gonna just take our arm up and overhead and then turn towards your back shoulder. Follow your hand with your eyes. Take a couple deep breaths in. And come back up. Bring this arm down. And back up and over. Twisting. Couple deep breaths. Now maybe that's too much of a stretch and it doesn't feel good and you just want to have your arm down and bring your head back. Maybe rock your hips a little bit. You can play with your hips. You can lean them back, lean them forward, lean them back, lean them forward. You can take this hand and put it under. Deep breath in, feel the back of your ribs expand, the front. And we're gonna come back up and we'll safely push ourselves back up to the top. Okay, we're going to do a little windmill before we go over to the other side. Just kind of stretch your legs out. And now we'll go to the other side. So again, try to sit in the position with your foot against your leg. This back leg is going to make a 90-degree angle. And then we want this foot on the top of the knee. If you can't, that's okay. Come out further. Sit up on a block if you need to. Wherever you need to start is totally fine. So we're going to sit up tall. We're going to lean forward just to the point where we feel the stretch. Your back is straight. Deep breath in. And then curl down. Nice and slow, rounding your back, dropping your head, pushing up with your arms, maybe holding somewhere that feels really good. And pushing back up. Okay, sit up tall. Your head's a helium balloon, decompress. Lean forward. Feel that stretch. Stay there as long as you need to. Drop our head. Let's curl into it. Drop our head. Let's just hang out at the bottom for a minute. So find a spot as you roll up that feels really good. You might feel it in your back. You might feel it in your neck. And just hold that for a moment. Okay, sit up tall. This time we're going to lean forward. And instead of curling, we're just going to go side to side. Holding wherever it feels good. Get that sticky glued down spot. And we'll come back to center. And drop the head and roll back up. Now we're going to do the same for the hip flexor on this side. Take this arm, put it wherever's comfortable. Maybe it's parallel. Maybe it's a little bit further forward if your hips are super limited and tight right now. Maybe it's a little further back, and it can change every day, so it's okay. I like to, since I am able to put my foot on this leg, I like to use that foot to kind of push this and open up the hip flexor a little bit more, so I push into it. All right, lift your arm up and over. Maybe look back, look at the hand with your eyes. Come back up. Maybe you can lean a little bit the other way. Carefully protect that shoulder. Deep breath in and out, melting into that stretch. And then just bring your arm back. Maybe you can stretch your leg out a little bit more, lean a little further, bring the arm up and over, lean back, twist open, see what feels good for you. Find a spot that feels really nice, and then just hold it for a minute. I'm going to move back a little bit more and open up that front hip, and then just stay right here. And then I'm going to twist and scoop down and around and come up to center. Okay, and we're going to do the windmill on this side as well. Just kind of a nice little shake it out, reposition everything. All right, and we're going to go into a more of a thoracic stretch. So you're going to have your feet on the ground like this, put your hands underneath your knees, and we're going to just roll down. So we'll roll down, let let gravity pull it and collapse into it. Let your neck hang soft. Take a couple deep breaths. I have a lot of issues with ribs and posture, so I feel this a lot, like in my neck, in my back, and I'll just hold this one for quite a while. I like to really try to expand the breath in the back, try to get those ribs by the shoulder blades and rhomboids to move. That actually helps with a lot of the knots and kinks if we can get those areas to start moving. And then on the way up, you're going to push into your sits bones so you don't strain your back. So you kind of straighten it a little bit. And then slowly roll up, bringing your head up last. We're going to sit up tall and then curl our chin to our chest. Start the curl with your head down to your neck, your shoulders, lower back. As little and minute as you can, getting every little nook and cranny that we usually skip over. Deep breath in, out, out. And coming up through the sits bones and curling out of it. So just do a movement on the way down that feels good for you. Maybe you sit up a little taller, maybe you curl your neck more, maybe you go slower. I like to pull my shoulders down so I feel the stretch in my neck. And then just roll down into it. Come into the sits bones. And come back up out of it. Okay, now we're going to go to a side lying one. So we're going to lay on our back. First, we'll just do a little assessment. So we're going to take our hands in prayer position and put them straight up. And then just look at your fingertips. Are they the same length? Are they the same spot? And then come overhead and just notice, can your hands touch the ground? Do your arms come apart? Does your neck feel tight? Does it change your breathing? Does it feel even? Do you feel like your right and left hand are even? Okay, and then come back up. All right, so this one we're gonna come on our side. You can have a pillow, you can put a pillow between your legs, you can put a pillow under your head, whatever is comfortable for you. You can have your knees stacked, you can have one leg in front of the other. It's a little more intense, whatever feels good to you. So we're gonna stack, I'm gonna stack the knees. We're gonna have this bottom arm out in front of us and our shoulders are stacked. We're gonna take this top hand and just draw it slowly up along that arm. And we're gonna come and we're gonna just let this back arm fall out and behind us and turn your hand so that it's touching the ground like some sand. So those fingers are in the sand. Then we're gonna take this back arm and just make a circle. So just draw it. Your fingers are going to touch the ground if possible. Just draw it along the sand, coming up to the front. And just make a nice big circle with that hand. The fingertips are on the ground, going through the sand, because I'm in Florida and it's very nice and warm here. And then follow your hand with your eyes as it goes back over that corner. Maybe pause if it feels really good in your chest. All right, and then bring the hand back down, tipping that hand down so it's touching the sand. And just drag it along the sand for another full circle. Maybe you feel a stretch right there in your neck. Deep breath in. Slowly drag it over the legs. Forward. Follow it with your eyes if that feels good. Pausing and taking a deep breath anywhere that feels sticky. I can feel the knots in my back in this one as my arm tries to drop. Okay, and then we'll just do that one more time. And when we come to the front, we're going to go ahead and go like this. Again, make sure your legs are comfortable, your neck's comfortable. This one we can put our arm under our head if we want. And we're going to take this back arm and open up the chest again. So we're going to open up the chest, and then this time we're going to just rock forward. So take that top leg and just rock the hips forward. Maybe you want to try the other position. Maybe you want to have your legs like this. So your chest is open. That back arm is either touching the ground or just hanging there. And then we're just going to rotate, twist our hip forward. Take a deep breath in and back. We're going to start to open up the hips with this one. In and back. So just notice, is your hip able to move? Does it feel tight anywhere? Is your arm flexible enough that it can stay on the ground, or is your chest tight? Maybe that arm comes up with it. And then come back. Okay, now we're going to roll onto our back. We're going to go a little deeper into the stretch. So we're going to come up. We'll do a little sacral massage just to balance ourselves out. We're going to come back over onto our side just like we were. And we're going to straighten our bottom leg to a spot that feels comfortable. We're going to take this top leg and bring it in front of us. So we're going to really get into the hip. And we'll have this leg in front of us on the ground, and you're going to drive your glute back and down into the mat. And this knee is going to come up and forward. You take this hand, bring it up overhead. I think my neck just popped. Deep breaths in. So you're going to feel this on the side of the body. You're going to dig that glute into the ground and this knee up. Just really feel that hip open up. You can play with your arm. Maybe you bring it up, over, out to the side. Maybe you look with your head. And then we're just going to come out of it, bring that leg down. We're going to come onto our back. Another little sacral massage. And then we're going to do the same leg we just had crossed over is going to be the one that we work on again. So our other leg is going to be straight on the floor. We're going to bring this leg straight up. And pull it towards us if we can. Getting a nice hamstring and glute stretch. And then we're going to do a similar thing. So we're going to bring this leg, cross it over the body. Grab onto just above the ankle on your shin. And try to put that foot down on the ground. So this one we're not laying on our side, we're laying on our back. It's going to be a little deeper into that hip. So again, the hip that's up is going to push down and into the ground. Feel that hip socket open. Couple deep breaths there. Then you can imagine this knee kind of pushing that way a little bit to give a little tension, or diagonal. You can bring this arm, put it up overhead, and then just take a couple deep breaths. This one's usually really intense for me, and I usually shake a little bit. It's a good intense, not a pain, not a compression. And just drive that glute down into the ground. See if you can open up that socket. You can bring the arm back. You can come out of it a little bit and rock back into it. And now we're going to take this leg and we're just going to cross it over. So we're going to open up this hip. You can bring your leg down. You can even engage this glute, the leg that's crossed. You can engage that glute and really pull open that hip. You can bring your arm up. One thing that I like to do with this one too is I like to tilt and flex my pelvis. I feel that really deep in my hip and my glute, my sacrum. You can also arch your back and let it down. You can play around with engaging that glute or not engaging it. Maybe you're not quite ready yet. If that's super tight for you. You can put a little pressure on the leg, push it down. Whatever feels good to you. Again, no pain. We don't want any pain. We don't want it to cause any tension. Okay, then we can just bring that leg up. And we'll go over to the other side. So we're gonna rock. All right, and we'll go over onto our other side. We're gonna do the circles in the sand first. So stack your legs comfortably. Draw this top hand up along the bottom arm. Reaching up and over, fingertips dangle and touch the sand. Stay there for a minute, take a couple deep breaths. Notice when you take a deep breath how that arm moves, where you feel it. Can you breathe into your belly in this position? And then we're just going to draw this hand along the sand, lengthening that arm. Up and over and around, pausing anywhere you need to. Follow the hand with your eyes up above your head, up and around. And we'll do that 2 more times. Going as slow as you need to. I feel this a lot in like my top, the arm that's up. I feel it in that shoulder blade going around the knots that I have. So I would pause and hang out in certain areas. Okay, and then when you come, we're going to just bring, when your arm is back over the other one, we're just going to bring it and open it up again and go into that deeper hip stretch. So you're going to just rock your hip forward and back. You can have your legs stacked. You can do that one on top of the other if you want. Whatever feels good. So you're just going to rock that front hip forward. Let that arm be heavy. Just let that stretch happen with gravity. Deep breath in and rock back. And rock forward and rock back. Then we're going to go ahead, you can stay on that side, and you will go ahead and bring this top leg up and over, bringing that foot on the ground, straightening it, and then we're going to drive this glute into the ground this way, and this knee up and out, really opening up that hip. You can bring this arm up. Nice side body stretch. can rock back into it if you need, and then come back into the stretch. If you have tight hip flexors, you might feel this a little bit in there. All right, and then we're going to come back onto our back. We're just going to do a little sacral massage, and then we'll go into it deeper. Okay, so same leg that was crossed over is going to be straight up towards our head. Grab the shin with your hand and bring this leg over and cross it down. Put it on the ground if possible. And then just really open up this hip socket. So we're going to drive this hip down, this glute down into the ground. This leg is going to go up and push away from us a little bit to get that nice big stretch. Again, see how deep you can breathe. You can do the belly breathing. Expand all those little nooks and crannies. Put your hand above your head if it feels good. And then we're going to come onto our back. We're going to bring this ankle over, crossed like that, and engage this glute to really open up that side hip if you can, if that feels good. Bring your arm up. You can arch your back. I like to tilt my hips, rock it under, tilt, rock it under, tilt. All right, and then we can come out of that, side to side, rock your hips. And a good one for the hip flexors as well is going to be bring this one in, and we're just going to make tiny, tiny little circles. So one knee to the chest and just make little bitty circles. I definitely have a part of my hip flexor that's not super happy. So like this part right here is a part that's very sticky or that I would jump over normally. Just gonna hold it there. Circle. And then make your tiny, tiny circles the other way. You can circle your ankle. See how that feels? Okay, and then bring the leg down. Do it to this side. Knee to the chest. Little bitty circles. This hip flexor isn't as bad for me. Circle the other way. All right. Bring the leg down. Shake it out. Now we're going to roll onto our sides. We're going to come onto our knees, and we're just going to drop one hip to the side. Look up, stretch that side body. You may have done this in another video, but it might feel different now that you've done all the other stretches. Up and to the side. Up. That feels good. You might not be able to drop your hip as far, that's fine. You may just be able to go to here, and that's perfect. Wherever you can go. That hip hang, stretch. Deep breath. And one more time to this side. Just let that hang down, feel in your side body, your neck, your hip. And now we're going to come into child's pose. Bring your hands on the ground and then just put some tension in your shoulders and drop your head. So your arms are straight and they're pushing into the ground. Maybe you move your head a little bit, tilt it in, bring your chin to your chest, bring your head up, see how that feels. And then we're gonna rock forward. So this one, we're gonna do the tops of our feet. We're going to lean back. I like to do it, I do it one at a time. For some reason, I can't rock back on my toes like that, so we're gonna stretch the front of the hip, or sorry, the front of the foot. And then the other side, stretch the front of the foot. And then we'll come forward and we'll have our toes like this. So our heels are up. We're gonna sit on our heels and we're gonna open up the hip flexor. So we're gonna lean back, really open up that front hip flexor and the shoulders as well. You can drop your head back if that feels good. You can bring your head up. Whatever feels good. You can drop your arms a little bit. Really open up that front body, that neck. Hip flexors. You can again tilt your hips a little bit. You can come up off of the floor with your knees. Let your hips hang there. Okay, and we'll come up out of that one. And last thing we're gonna do is a little bit of a neck stretch. So sit comfortably. If you need to sit on a chair, on a pillow, have your legs crossed or like this, whatever is comfortable for you. So we're going to lift our head up like a helium balloon and just bring one arm out to the side, and maybe that's enough of a stretch for that arm and that neck. Otherwise you can tilt your chin to your ear. Come back up. So let's bring this arm back in, lift up tall, tilt one ear to your shoulder. Deep breath in and look down. Feel that stretch along the back of your neck. And then look up the front of the neck. Relax the jaw. Look back down. And then bring your head to center. And do that on the other side. Ear to the shoulder. Tilt your head down. And back up. Down. And back up. Remember, pausing anywhere that feels sticky, it feels really good. Head comes back up. Now we're going to go ahead and just circle our chin down. Feel that nice stretch. Bring the chin along the chest, all the way to the other shoulder. And we're going to look up, but just have your eyes to the ceiling. We don't want to rock our head back too far. And bring it back around, chin to the chest. And the eyes up to the ceiling. You can do that a couple more times if you want. We'll go to the other side. Other ear to the shoulder. Chin to the chest down, nice and slow. Look up at the ceiling, making sure to draw a line with your eyes or your chin. We don't want to rock our head back too far. And chin to the chest. Okay, head up in the center. Now that our neck is warmed up a little bit, now we can do the arm to the side. So we're going to tilt our ear to the shoulder and then bring the opposite arm out to the side. Just crawl the fingertips to wherever feels good. Just notice, play with your alignment a little bit. Are you leaning? You can lean back a little. You can lean forward with your body, keeping your neck in line with your shoulder. Just notice how that changes the stretch. You can crawl your arm out a little bit or just put it flat next to you if that's too much. If the arm to the side's too much, then just do this without it. And again, just lean forward, keeping your back straight, bringing your whole body forward and your whole body backwards. Think about it coming from your hips, not your neck. And then we'll come up and we'll do the same to the other side. So ear to the shoulder, arm out to the side, sitting up nice and tall. And then you can just tilt your head down and look up. Come back to neutral, lean forward a little bit with your whole body. Come back, lean forward and back. Slowly bring that arm back in and lift your head back up. So that is a wonderful routine for kind of the whole body, and you can stay in different areas that you like better, whatever section needs more stretching for you. It's a good routine to just go through and be like, okay, that one felt really good. I'm gonna hold that one a little bit longer, or I didn't feel this stretch as much, so maybe I'll only do that once or twice a week. So it's important to do the whole body, even if we're just focusing on one tight area, because it's all connected and we wanna stay balanced. But yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed that routine. Definitely let me know, give me some feedback either on Instagram or on YouTube in the comments, or if you have my phone number. My email and phone number will be in the link below. And if you want to set something up that's more personalized, let me know.